Hello, family. Tonight, well, I'm coming from a different angle now. I'm not done with politics and giving my opinions and whatever about what's going on in the world around us, but I also want to share information about health because I am one that believes that health is wealth, right? And some of the information that I'm going to be sharing is going to be for old fogies such as myself, as well as for young people that are conscious about wanting to live a happy, healthy, and long life, right? But I always tell people whatever I share here. First of all, I'm not a doctor, but I have whatever I talk about is substances that I have used or is using right now. Okay, but I always tell people do your own research as well because I'm not an expert and I only know about these things because I did my research to help my health, right? I am 65 years old and I am proud to be 65 and I am in pretty good health, other than some back issues, from an accident and, whatever, but I am in pretty good health. Some people say I don't look my age. And a lot of days I don't, but I do have my days that I do feel all 65 years, right? Moringa is what I'm talking about today. I love the name Moringa, like Zinga, right? It's called the plant of life and it's found in various parts of Asia, Africa, southern United States, as well as South America, tropical areas, right? It has like over 92 nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and other beneficial compounds. And you're not going to find everything that I'm about to tell you about moringa. This is like a miracle plant. They call it the miracle plant because if you chop it down even at the root, if there's even a leaf left in the dirt or close to the dirt, it can grow all over again. It's almost like they say it's impossible to kill this plant, this tree. Now you can get it at a health store, powdered form. That's what I use. Put it in tea, put it in, smoothies or whatever, put it in your cereal, whatever you want to put it. Has no bad taste, no real smell. Has the powder has a color of like an olive green. And I'm just going to run down the benefits real quick. And I'm going to also talk about some of the side effects, people that should not be using it, okay? And you do your own research, though. Please do your own research and talk to your doctor before you use anything. Right now, it has like I'm just gonna name the vitamins. You can't get this in one pill. Vitamins A, B1, B2, B3, B6, B7, vitamins C, D, and E. Minerals such as calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper. It has amino acids for the bodybuilders, the dudes that like to work out and beef up and everything. It has something like 18 out of 20 amino acids, including 9 essential ones. Okay, it has like 46 different types of antioxidants, and the list goes on. I want you to do your own research. Okay. I want to, look, we're going through times where food is killing us. So we need to start looking into what are we putting in our bodies and then start making the choice of putting the right things in our bodies. And some of the things have been around for thousands of years, such as this here, right? But pharmaceuticals, they won't tell us about it, right? So now let me go on and tell you some more of the benefits. Okay, I already mentioned it's rich in calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron. It's good for treating edema, right? With like the swelling of tissues and stuff like that there. It's a good source of, it helps for protecting and nourishing skin and hair. It protects the liver against like non-alcoholic diseases. It's good for preventing some cancers. It's been found through studies to prevent and to help with some cancers. It's good for helping with an upset stomach. Excuse me. It has plenty of antioxidants, as I've mentioned, and it works against anti-inflammatory properties. It boosts your immune system. It fights foodborne bacteria infections. It treats mood and nervous system disorders. It's good for treating cardiovascular issues, asthma, diabetes, high blood pressure, and possibly even weight loss. Okay, improves eye health. Now, the side effects, from what I have understood, there's not very many, but anything, you can use anything, even things that's good for you, and it can hurt you, right? Some of the side effects affect people who are pregnant, like women that either are pregnant or are looking to be pregnant. It is not wise to take moringa without talking to a doctor, and that goes for any kind of whether it's a home remedy or a natural, plant or whatever that you want to try out, some type of health, new stuff. I call it new age medicine, not the pill, right? If you have diabetes, because it can help with diabetes, but it also, too much of it can affect it in an adverse type style. And blood pressure as well. It can lower the blood pressure. If you're taking blood pressure medicine, it can go against what the medicine. It's kind of like if you want to bring your blood pressure down, you don't want to bring it down too low. That's pretty much most of it, but like I said, for your own health benefits, look into how Moringa, Moringa, right? Look into what Moringa can do for you. And they're talking about, like, 1 or 2 teaspoons of this stuff, per day. You can put it in your food, like I put it in smoothies. I drink tea, I put it in my tea. I make like lemon water and sprinkle some in there with a little bit of maple syrup, 100% maple syrup, or some honey or whatever. And that's with some ice, that's a good drink for the day, and I tell you, it's like a lot of my friends that are 65 years old, God bless them, but I don't think a lot of them really took health very serious. And I have been looking into my health since I was in my early 30s, because I began to start looking at how I was living, which was pretty wild back in those days. And like most young people, doing a lot of experimenting on, life in general, right? And so at some point I had to start realizing that, in order for me to have a healthy life, it takes effort after a certain age. Like when we're young and we're kids, we grow up and we grow out, and the energy is trying to move outward. It's kind of like the universe. It grows outward, right? But when you get to a certain age, it starts crumbling inward, and to slow that process, I believe we can slow down aging. I think that I am some type of an example of that there, with what I'm still able to do today compared to a lot of people that's my age, and that's not, me bragging or nothing. I'm just saying that I thank God for, getting my attention and guiding me down the path of health and looking into stuff, that is going to enhance my living. It does take effort to live happy, to live healthy. Without health, we lock ourselves in our own little prison, into our own little home, our little apartment, our little, wherever we live at, and we're limited without a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to start doing these here posts, because hopefully somebody might get something out of it, and hopefully it might trigger something in you to want to start looking into, regardless of your age. I hope those that's in their 20s and 30s see this, because you can start as early as you want. God bless until the next time.